What's up? It's Bo. This might look familiar to my first video, and that's because it is. It's because I just decided to start and make my first real video right after the intro where I sort of explain my idea behind this channel. And I guess I want to start off by saying I hope this finds you at the right time. My first topic is going to be your purpose or your center. I feel like your center is a good way to put it, and I'll elaborate as I go. But a lot of the reason why I started this, or I even had this idea really, actually I'm gonna walk this way, it's because of one video on YouTube by Kevin Levrone, and you might know it if you know his name, but it's actually the title of the video is Your Purpose, Finding Your Purpose. So if you want to go look that up, I'll probably tag it in the description, but it's a great video. I think it does a pretty solid job of talking about finding your purpose. And I think that as people, as humans, we're unique on this planet because of the level of consciousness that we have of the world around us, and the human experience is a difficult one a lot of the time, but it also can be rewarding. It can also be suffering. It can be pain. It can be a lot of different things. You know, what it is right now for you is different than what it is for somebody else. And I think that that's honestly what makes it, beautiful. Or beauty is maybe not the right way to put it, but everybody has a unique life. And I don't have to go too much more into that. I think you have an idea of what I'm saying. But finding your purpose, that's the point of this video. And that video by Kevin Levrone is a big inspiration for the style I think that I want to bring to this and the type of things that I want to talk about. Maybe not like deep subjects, but I think a lot of things that people grapple with or think about. At least I do. But finding your purpose, I think a lot of us spend a lot of our time trying to figure that out, at least maybe younger years, earlier years. There's probably, I don't know when it was for me, maybe when I started to think in a way about my purpose of being here. Why am I here? But first probably 10 years of your life, 12 years of your life, you're not thinking about it. Or maybe you have a surface level understanding and you think, my purpose is I'm gonna go be an astronaut, or whatever grand wild dream you have when you're still dreaming that way. But finding what fulfills you is something that it feels like a marathon. Finding your purpose it can be difficult, and that can be for a couple of reasons. Sometimes we don't really have a strong foundation of things that are fulfilling and truly meaningful. And that can be a home life issue, that can be a role model issue, that can be a lack of a home life or a role model. But a lot of the things of this world are not to be desired. When you really, at the end of the day, sit down and you feel emptiness, or you feel like what you're doing is not fulfilling. That's really what I'm talking about. How do you find what actually makes you tick? What makes you feel? The best word I can come up with is what confirms you on this earth. And that can be a lot of different things, and it should be, because there's a lot of things in this earth, a lot of places, a lot of people, a lot of groups of people that need purpose. And if you're like me and you got the opportunity to go to college or go off on your own, you start to just chase anything that makes you feel anything really happy, excited, and a lot of that can be partying or friends, or for some people drugs, alcohol, women, doesn't matter. Anything that temporarily fills that feeling of, oh well, what I'm doing right now is not fulfilling. Maybe I can find some type of peace or emotion or feeling in somebody or something else that I'm doing. When you are done after the party or whatever, or you drink and you can't feel anything anymore, and you wonder, what's actually my purpose? Why am I here? It can hurt, and it can be confusing, but it's a chase, it's a hunt to find what fulfills you. And maybe you find activities that fulfill you. Volunteering, or taking care of some kids, or doesn't matter. Church, that's a big one for me. We'll probably talk about my faith or religious topics at some point on this channel, because it is a core value for me. Over the last couple years, it's been something I've gotten into and has changed my life, but we don't have to get into that right now. But actually, we might. But finding your purpose is about what your core values are and what fulfills you. And so the reason why at the start I said your purpose / your center, finding your center, that's because your center is where what you truly value and what makes you tick is at. Your center is where when somebody says something that irks you or talks about a topic that you love, that's where that lives. That's where your purpose lives. So, if what I just said kind of made you think of something, then that's probably a good start. If that's music, if that's a sport, if that's an activity, I don't know, spitballing right now, but this is what this is about. You gotta find your center. You gotta find what will make you feel confirmed on this earth as you, who you are, for the rest of your life. And it doesn't have to be one thing for the rest of your life, because that's kind of scary. What one thing is going to satisfy me for the rest of my life? I don't know. But I'll tell you right now, it's not going to be a person. I'll tell you right now, it's not going to be a drink or a food or a drug. Your center is none of those things. And if you do that, you'll know what I mean. You'll know that it doesn't fulfill you. And you'll know that it really leaves you emptier than before. It takes a part of you. And it goes with it. That part of you goes with whatever it was, whenever you're done with it. And that's why it's so addicting, because it comes in to your life. It makes you feel a little bit better, maybe for the moment, and then it takes a part of you that you maybe thought you had gained. So when it comes to finding your purpose, finding your center, how do we do that? I think the first step is, and this is kind of on the same script as the Kevin Levrone video, but for me, the first step is being alone. And that's what I'm out here doing. I'm being alone right now. It's actually February 14th. And for a lot of people, that means a lot of different things. Well, really, two different things. Maybe a few. But for me, it's just another day. Maybe I'm reminded of a state that I'm in, a state of being alone. But for other people, it's a night to appreciate somebody else that's in their life, that helps them, that is their companion, and it should be that way. But it's not always that way. For some people, it looks a way that maybe it should be, but it's not. And so I want to say, if today, when you are alone and you're feeling that loneliness, and I would say that being alone and feeling alone are two different things. And that's actually going to be a video topic in the future. But when you're alone, and maybe you're reminded that you're alone, and it hurts a little. It feels like someone just pushed the knife in a little bit more. It's okay. It's okay. First of all, there is hope. There is hope for you. You're still alive. You woke up this morning. That means you're not done. But second of all, not everything is as it seems. When you see, maybe, this is something I personally struggle with. When you see somebody with something that you wish you had or that you want, and you want, more specifically, I guess what I'm talking about, truck. What I'm talking about is when you are reminded that you're alone and maybe you see somebody with something that you want, like somebody who's in a relationship. Things are not always as they seem. So you are potentially jealous or envious of something that you think somebody has that you want. But it may not always be that way. I'm saying this to really give perspective on it, because relationships aren't perfect, but some are worse than others. I would rather be by myself right now than in a relationship that is failing, that is a person who is maybe dependent on me, or just tearing me apart, or lying, or cheating, or stealing, or you name it, right? I think you guys will understand what I'm saying. I think that we tend to see what others have as what we want, but we don't really know what they have. And so I think thinking of that and getting some perspective on it, having a different perspective, it's still okay to want those things. Those things are good. Inherently, relationships are good. But what I will say is that's not where you find your purpose. That's not where you find what makes you tick. And another person who comes alongside you eventually will help. They will, if it's the right time and the right person, they will fit into your life in a way that is not holding you back from what your purpose is. So they'll aid in it, but they are not your center. They shouldn't be your center. If they're your center, there's probably an overdependency on your part. And if they're your center, same thing. So don't worry. And in the meantime, while you're alone, now is a good time to explore, because you have no attachment. You have no attachment. Hopefully, you have no attachment to a place or a person. Maybe for some situations it's different. You might have a family member or somebody who you're taking care of, a kid or a sick family member, and that might be a different story. But for the person who has no attachments, take this time to be alone, to seek out being alone more. And that doesn't just mean, keep on being by yourself. No, go out, be alone, do something by yourself. And maybe it's around other people, but I try to come out like I'm doing right now, on walks or runs or whatever floats your boat, hikes. Getting outside helps, but doing something where you're alone. All right, we're back. my brother just called me. Or was I? Seek out being alone. And maybe it means go to a restaurant by yourself. It doesn't have to be a nice one. It can just be a local spot that you like. But do things that, like I said, make you tick, make you enjoy your time here. And do them by yourself. Take it in and enjoy it. Don't think about anything else, but be in that moment of that activity that you're doing by yourself. And this is because, the reason why you do this is because you can't find yourself in a crowd. You can't find your purpose in a crowd of people, in a group of people, with your friends, even with your family. That's too many voices, that's too many opinions, that's too many ideas that aren't yours. That's too many things that other people enjoy instead of what you enjoy. So you gotta find the things that you enjoy. And sometimes it doesn't look like something you enjoy. Sometimes it looks like forcing yourself to go be by yourself, somewhere away from people. It might be boring if you've never done it. It might be painful to be by yourself with all your thoughts. But this is where, if you give it time, you'll find what makes you you. So, number one, be by yourself. Go be alone. Go do things alone. And go think. You know, I think a term that gets used a lot on social media, especially by a lot of women, and it feels a little bit of like a way to cope, I guess, to me, the way that it gets used, but romanticizing your life is a term that I hear sometimes, and I think it's a little corny, but I see the point. I see the point of, you know, romanticizing walking to the store to get your groceries, put some headphones in, listen to some good music, you know, enjoy that time. I think that that's very good. I think that that's very healthy. I think that it's important to do things like that. Even if this doesn't apply to you, or this doesn't not apply to you, if you're in a relationship. Because when you're with somebody, it's good to be with them. It's also good to find things that you like to do by yourself. Because the more time you spend around other people, or even just one person, the more you become that person. And you lose yourself in that person. If you're obsessive or clingy is a bad word, but dependent on that person for a fulfillment of your time, just because you don't want to be alone, then you're trying to escape something that you need to do. And so I really urge you to seek out those activities that you like to do by yourself. And maybe it's watching a movie that you like, that maybe they wouldn't like by yourself. Or for me, I don't watch a lot of movies, but I love watching YouTube. And a lot of the things that I watch, I probably would say, they're not niche, but you know, they're definitely not mainstream. And doing that is definitely something that I do by myself, and I probably will. You know, hopefully I maybe find somebody who likes the same things that I like, but in the meantime, I'm fine with it. So number one is going in, being by yourself, and finding out what types of things make you tick. And so I guess to maybe it would help if I talked about what that is for me. And so for me, and something that I got back into recently that I really love, is volunteering. And I'm not saying this to like grandstand about, you know, how wonderful I am, but volunteering is something I did a lot growing up. Not that there was a bunch of need where I grew up, but it definitely felt like there was more than where I'm at right now. I'm at school, and it's a little bit of a, the pockets are a little deeper here than a lot of places, and there's not a whole lot of opportunities to give, really, as much as I thought. Like, I thought that there would be more of a community that needed more of my time, I guess is really what I'm saying. You can give money all you want, and money's good. It's good to give. It's important. It helps. But I like to give my time. So back home, that was some organizations that I worked with. There's a food bank. That's where I'm going actually now. Is there's a food bank that I went to, and I gave some of my time, and we just sorted food, stacked boxes, all different types of things. And you know, it's not the most rewarding of all of the things that you could probably put your time into, but it's definitely fulfilling for me. Giving my time and even my money. I used to give more money than I do now. I'm probably a little more selfish with it than I should be. But doing something like that like, I hadn't done it in a while. But when I went last Friday, and I did 2 or 3 hours. Man, it's just like putting my hands to work on a project that fulfills a need for somebody else. That I get a lot out of that, and I'm a giving person. I would say I'm a person. Maybe some of you share this too, where when I'm with a group, I get more joy out of seeing them happy, or hearing them laugh, or seeing them enjoy their time, or the food or the drink. I get more out of that than I do out of my own enjoyment of the food or drink or the music or whatever. You know, like when someone gets in my car, I'm playing the music that they like. You know, if I'm picking them up to go somewhere, I'm thinking about what would they like to listen to. You know, what do they listen to when I'm around them? You know, and seeing them, you know, react well to that song or whatever, that brings me a lot of happiness. So, and it's the same way in that aspect, and something that brings even more fulfillment and more is my center is giving my time. So maybe that's what that looks like for you. Another aspect, and really this is a really big one, and I said I wouldn't really talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it, is my faith, is my religion. And I don't love the word religion, because I don't think that really embodies what it is. But I would say faith is a pretty good way to explain it, because I'm putting my faith in something. You know, I'm accepting that I have free will, but I'm also in a belief that the higher power, in this case I'm referring to God, that's who I believe in, the one true God and his son. I believe that power is really in control. You know, that there's good, that there's evil. But putting my faith in something like that is also important to me. And I can talk about this in another video, but I really call it seeing the third dimension of my life. You know, I think that the rest of the experience, the rest of my consciousness, if I didn't have faith, would really be sort of flat, sort of 2D, sort of just a lot of things happening to me instead of happening for a reason. And so that third degree, that third plane that lets me see life in 3D is the fact that I believe in a higher power. I believe in someone who has sovereignty, who is almighty and all-powerful. And so maybe that's something that you should explore. I would personally encourage you to, but that's not the point of this channel, at least at this moment. I would love to share the gospel at some point, and maybe let me know if that's something I should share. But yeah, I enjoy talking about it, so I had to be down. But yeah, that pillar of my life, you know, outside of friends and family, that's number one. Well, it really is number one, but friends and family are up there too. It's really, you know, what allows me to be the person that I am. So that is definitely part of my purpose, and I would encourage you to explore it. go to church with a friend or by yourself. How about that? Bring a note card or a piece of paper to write down your thoughts, or maybe write them down afterward. I don't know. You gotta find out for yourself. You gotta explore. Yeah, I said 2 things. What else makes me tick? Let's see. Exploring the creative realm. For me, a lot that's listening to music. I wish I was skilled enough to make music, but I love listening to it. I listen to all types of different music, and I will wear it out very quickly. I don't have an addictive personality toward anything. Maybe video games when I was younger, but music is the only thing that comes close to where if I love a song, I'll listen to it 20 times in a day. And I'll listen to it until I can't listen to it anymore. Creative outlet, and I wish I was better at art. I wish I could make music. All of those things seem really fun. I don't have those skills right now. Maybe that's something I can work on and develop, but so I would say the third pillar of my purpose is doing things that I really like to do. And so that's, for me, getting outside, being in nature, working out, consuming interesting content on YouTube is another one. Cooking is probably one of my favorite things to do. Making yourself something good to eat, I think, is up there with a lot of the more enjoyable things. It's also a skill. It's something you can take into a future relationship. I think that's something that I don't think about when I'm cooking, but after I'm cooking, I'm like, man, this would be awesome to share with someone, or to make for someone and see them enjoy it. But anyways, off topic. Finding your purpose, finding your center. Those are some examples. Those are the things that if I didn't have anything else, that's what I would take with me. Right? Those are the things that I would want people to talk about that I liked if I wasn't here anymore. If somebody asked me, who are you? Those are the things that I would bring to the table. And those don't have to be the things that you enjoy. You can hate those things, and that's okay. And when you watch videos of what people do by themselves or what they suggest that you should do, you don't have to take them. You don't have to take their advice. You can try it for yourself. Don't knock it till you try it, I guess. But, think about it. You should be able to come up with at least one thing that you can go do by yourself right now. You can start training a new sport, martial art, go to a class. They offer free ones. Go do something. Go try a cooking class. Go talk to somebody at a coffee shop. Go get a new job. Maybe you feel trapped in your current job. Maybe you don't feel fulfilled by your current job, and maybe it's a means to an end right now, and that's okay. We're all in different stages of our lives, in different seasons, but you gotta find what fulfills you now. You can't wait. Life is too precious to waste, so you gotta do it. You gotta go. What else? What else about finding your purpose? At the end of the day, the only person you really have is you. And the only person you're going to live with for the rest of your life, no matter what, is you. And you need to be okay with who you are and what you're doing. And if that means that what you're doing right now is making you unhappy, and you've got to find something else or somebody else, you've just got to do it. You've just got to do it. And it might be something that you used to do that you don't do a lot anymore, And you might be thinking of that right now, and that's probably a good thing that you're thinking of it right now, because that means you might not have to do a whole lot of deliberating and thinking to figure it out. You can probably just figure it out right now. So I just encourage you to go do that. And then a final thought is giving things up. Sometimes, like I said, you have to be alone, and so giving something up might be giving up going out with certain people, or doing an activity like doing drugs or alcohol, or something that blinds you from being present and being with yourself and having thoughts and doing things. And so that can be a lot of things. But going without, it can be sometimes food. It's going to be different for you than it is for me. But going without, sometimes cutting something out of your life can help you to find that purpose. So, I don't know you, but I know we all have things we'd like to get rid of in our life. Maybe it's a person or a group of people. And maybe those people it's not that easy. But like I said, you might not have as much time as you think. And the more time you get to spend living the way you want to, the more you're going to enjoy life. And that's might be a selfish way to think about it, but these are just the type of things, I guess, that I think about, and this is the reason why I'm making this. Very self-analytical, very to a fault. I overanalyze things, and I think about them a lot, and maybe I don't think about them in the moment. A way somebody talked to me or said something to me, a way it made me feel, maybe I don't think about it really in the moment as much as I do later. And I have to deliberate on it, and I think, and then I figure out why I'm thinking that, or why I'm feeling that, or why do I feel this way today? Why have I felt this way this week? Those moments, those weeks, those days are where I found myself, where I found my purpose and my reason, my center for being here, the center of my life. And it's not one thing, it's many things. And it's probably many things for you. I would hope it's many things for you, because sometimes things aren't open. Sometimes there's bad weather. So you've got to find your thing. You've got to find your things. I don't know how to finish this video off, but just with a reminder, I guess. If you're like me, you believe you were created for a reason. I believe I was put on this earth for a reason, and I found that. I found those reasons through many different things, through the things that I enjoy and the things that bring me the most fulfillment. And I would love for everybody to have that, but wherever we're at in life right now, we may not have that. But I encourage you to find it. I encourage you to be the person and experience the things that you want to. That's what I want for you. So, I hope you all have a good night. I hope you don't dwell too much in your thoughts. And yeah, I'll be back with another video soon.